I just woke up. So I'm out here in the Philippines now, and the first thing that I do is where's my camera? Okay. First thing that I do is I check my phone when I wake up, right? As long as I don't have 197 missed calls, I know it's going to be a good day because my kids are still in America, right? And that's the first thing I do. The first thing I do is I check my messages. I'm getting to something. So this is going to be a while. If you have something to do, come back to this later on. But there is a good point that I'm making. I'll eventually get to it. So this morning I woke up and I received a text message from somebody who watches the channel. He basically said, "Hey man, you mentioned some Fiverr gig. What was the guy's name?" Now look, I made over 400 videos. I have no idea what I even say in any of these videos. I really don't. Especially if it was made 3-4 weeks ago. I don't know. So I told the guy, I said, "I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm out in the Philippines." And he said, "Oh, okay, no problem." He says, "But I did what you said. I got some citations. I got a press release. I got my site in all maps." I said, "All right, good. He says, "But I'm still not ranking." So I was like, look, just get as many reviews as you can. And like I said, I just woke up. I'm not going to have a whole conversation. I said, just get a lot of reviews. He goes, "Okay, I have 8. I said, "Aha, now you just sparked me. Now I just woke up." No, like, you got 8 reviews. You're not ranking with 8 reviews. If it was me, right? That's the thing that I think of. When somebody has a problem, I always think, if I had that problem, what I would do. But I go to extremes on things, right? When I have a problem, I'm like an extreme person to solve the problem. And I'll think of things that are off the wall. I one time had a customer call me from, not a customer, a wrong number back in the year 2001, somewhere 2000. Wrong number called me from Queens. I lived in Staten Island. I had a website design store at the time. And I told him it was a wrong number. And I said, "By the way, do you own a business? This is a website design firm." And he says, "Yeah, I do. I don't have a website." And I asked him if I could come out. And I don't know. I think he said yes. I don't remember. But I showed up like 3 hours later. And the guy was kind of pissed off that I showed up. But that's how I am. That's my personality, right? I hope it's not like that anymore. I could see that was wrong, but I go through extremes to solve problems. I solve problems. You may not like the way I solve the problem, but I'm going to solve it. And basically what I told this guy was, "Do you want to," because I told him how to solve it. And I said to him, "You want to solve the problem, or do you want to go by Google's rules?" Because he said, "Oh, that's against Google's policy," or something like that. I said, "Well, which one do you want? Do you want to go by Google's policy, or do you want to win? There's really only 2 choices. That's it. Anybody that you see in Google Maps did something that was against Google's policy. 99% of the people, all your competition, your plumbers, your electricians, roofers, right? Everybody has done something that's against Google's policy. Now, whether they get caught or not is a different story. So his problem was reviews. So I started to think, if that was my problem, if I had 8 reviews, what would I do? Because I know to be in the game that he's in, I think he's a musician. So you need at least 100 reviews, right? That's going to bring me on to another point that I brought up. So let me just show you how I solve the problem. So you see over here where it says "Ask for a review." See this QR code? I would take a picture of this QR code, or I would snip this QR code, send it to my email, then put it on, then paste it on my phone, get my email on my phone, paste it on my phone. But I would have it on my phone just like this. And any person that I saw, I went to, for example, my sister's house, and there was 12 people there for a dinner. I get 12 reviews because I have my review thing right there, my QR code right there. Hey, can you do me a favor? I need reviews for my business. Boop, 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 boop. 12 reviews, right? I don't know how many of them will go through. I see somebody at Walmart. Oh, I love your shoes. Oh, thank you. Where'd you get them? I was thinking about getting the same thing. Hey, listen, you look like a cool guy. You want to give me a review? I need it for my business. Like, that's how I am. But I'll get 100 reviews in 2 months because I'll do things like that. And it's not for me. It's for my business. It's so I could pay my employees. Right? That's why I do the things. I never really do anything for myself. It's because of my business. I would need to do that. Now look, I don't need to be in Google Maps. I'm a national or worldwide brand at this point. I have my YouTube channel. People watch my videos. They build a relationship with me, and then eventually they give me a call. Hey, I'd like you to take this over, because they've been watching 30 or 40 of my videos, right? So I don't want to be in Google Maps. I don't want customers from Staten Island, New York. If you're watching this from Staten Island, New York, please. And that brings me to another point. I get a lot of messages by people who have national brands or can work nationwide, right? Like an accountant, a bookkeeper. They could do business in New York, they could do business in Florida, California, Chicago, right? Anywhere in the US, they could do business. But for some reason, they feel that because they're a small business, they need to be in Google Maps. I tell those people to stop watching my video. Do not watch my video about Google Maps. Google Maps is not for you, right? You're a national brand. You should be on social media putting out, the 5 best bookkeeping hacks, things your accountant doesn't want you to know, like stuff like that. You should be putting out on social media. If you're, you should only be contacting me if you're to say hello. Anybody could do that, of course. But if you have to drive 20 miles to the job, or somebody has to drive 20 miles to you, you're my perfect customer. A roofer, an electrician, a plumber, something like that, right? Anybody that you have to drive to, or they have to drive to you. If you're a national brand, if you could work with anybody in the nation, you got to get great at social media. It's not about being on Google Maps, and it's not about starting small. It takes a lot of effort to get in Google Maps, and you're wasting time. I hope that sunk in, because a lot of people still don't understand that for some reason. So if you want to win, especially if you're watching this video and you have less than 100 reviews, you go take that QR code and you put it on your phone. And anybody that you come into contact with, boop, all your customers, right? Everybody that's your customer, boop, boop, boop. You get your reviews. Your competition is going to have 400 or 500 reviews by next year. You're not going to be able to go to Google Maps and see, 32 reviews like you're seeing today, right? That's like when Bitcoin was 16,000. Right now it's 116,000. Right? It was a long time ago. It's the same thing with reviews. People are going to start to catch on that you need reviews. It's starting already. Right? You want to be located, you want to be found in language models like ChatGPT, Perplexity. You got to have a signal on the web. You need reviews. Get your phone, get your QR code on your phone, and anybody that you come into contact with, you give them the QR, have them point their phone at it, and get a review. Everybody watching this video, I want to see you next year, next August, God willing. And everybody should have over 300-400 reviews. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. I hope everybody's doing well. Please take care of your family. It's the thing that's most important. It's the thing that I'm most passionate about. It's the reason why I do these videos. I do these videos for the younger me. I do these videos when I was struggling and I was trying to watch videos. I wanted somebody to just tell me what I needed to do rather than hear a whole story. I wanted to know, what do I need to do to rank on Google Maps? So when I'm speaking to myself, when I'm speaking on this video, I'm always speaking to my younger self. And I ignored people in my family. Because like I said, I have an extreme personality. I was laser focused on my business, you know, looking back at it. So don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. You know, take some time for your family. Be there for them. Help out around the house. Clean up around the house. Take out the dog, right? You're the one who brought the dog. You bought the dog, and now you're not taking him out. So take the dog out. Take out the garbage, stuff like that. Help out around the house, right? Because those things go a long way. All right, guys. Everybody have a great day, and we will catch you the next time. Bye.